A man farts his feelings at an RFK Jr. political event because he was mad about hot air. Yeah, I really had to think about how I was going to cover this story today because I wasn't going to not cover it, but I also didn't want to say the word fart on camera. I even looked up synonyms for the word fart and I found some good ones. Flatulate is good, sounds very collegiate. Cut the cheese is an oldie but goodie. Toot is a bit juvenile, but so is all of this. I also learned that in the olden days, people would call it a fizzle, or if it was silent, they would call it a feist, which is a lot of fun. From the French language, we have pétarade, which means a fart or a series of farts. Anyway, after all of this fart research, I realized that the word fart is in a quote that I will have to speak out loud in this video, so there would be no getting around it. But I've already said it multiple times and it wasn't so bad. So put your favorite fart word in the comments, I guess. So Doug Dechert, a man dubbed Farter Extraordinaire by Vanity Fair, hosted a dinner for presidential hopeful Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Things were going along until someone brought up the issue of climate change and the environment. To this, Dechert exclaimed, "The climate hoax," and he went on to call it a scam. In response, art critic Anthony Hayden Guest, who had appeared to be sleeping, opened his eyes and called his friend of 30 years a, quote, miserable blob, effing insane, and insignificant. Amazing. So Dechert farted, and while farting, he proclaimed for all to hear, "I'm farting." Afterwards, a Page Six reporter asked Dechert for a comment, and he told them, quote, "I apologize for using my flatulence as a medium of public commentary in your presence." He also asked to be referred to as a gallivanting boulevardier or a beer-fueled sex rocket.
You think the Earth is not warming right now?
So, did you notice a few years ago...
Wait, do you think the Earth is not warming?
Climate has always changed, but you can't distinguish mankind's contribution from natural variability.
I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball. So it's very, very cold out.
It supposes that we don't have actual facts to defer to that tell us whether or not the planet is getting hotter at an accelerated rate. It suggests that there's little or nothing that we can do to mitigate the damage that we have verifiably caused on the planet. It's treated as a thing we can talk about and think about, as if it's a metaphysical, philosophical thought experiment. It's not metaphysical, it's physical, it's here, it's been here. We've seen it coming for decades. I remember learning about this stuff when I was in elementary school in the 90s. Global warming and humanity's impact on it is a scientific and mathematical fact that has successfully been sold to the public as a political issue with two sides. Political issues are debated by politicians, but this issue isn't political, and these politicians aren't scientists. RFK Jr., of all people, has some very questionable scientific opinions, which makes sense considering he is not a scientist. We're all familiar with his stance on vaccines, but he's also repeatedly insinuated that chemicals in the water are making people transgender. His basis for this claim is that certain chemicals in water can change frogs from male to female. You might remember the infamous Alex Jones rant on the same topic. For one, he's confusing sex with gender, but beyond that, humans aren't frogs. Our bodies don't function the same way. Why would they? Anyway, it's the weekend. I'm sorry to go out like this, but I can already tell that this is going to be a very interesting election cycle, to say the absolute least. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this somehow, please like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to follow me on all the socials. Thank you.